Elon Musk. Now, he is one of the most discussed names of these few years. Maybe it would be more accurate to call it a decade. It's just that his success story has been more evident over the past 5 years. Now, he is a genius, and a guy with this level of brain and perseverance is not a commoner. Well, why don't we see how we, as Americans, really feel about Elon Musk and moreover about his recent doings? Being born in South Africa and eventually grew up to become the founder of SpaceX, Tesla, and Solar City, this man is a little god in the industry. There are no questioning Musk's business skills and results. The CEO has a vast list of achievements to his name, including Zip2, PayPal, Tesla, and SpaceX. And what else? He was recently called a real-life Iron Man. On an episode of Saturday Night Live, Elon Musk revealed to suffer from Asperger's syndrome, which is an autism spectrum disorder with normally greater functioning. Isaac Newton, Albert Einstein, you name them, all were Asperger patients. What's more, guess what? Being a genius in any field is unusual. But these were all how great Musk is in his field of engineering and business. But things have turned quite a bit recently. When Musk originally revealed his plan to purchase Twitter in April, Americans were somewhat more likely to approve than disapprove. 8 months later, and only a month after the sale was completed, Americans had similar feelings about his acquisition. In an April poll of 1,000 U.S. people, 30% expected Musk's purchase of Twitter to be beneficial to the site, while 24% expected to be detrimental. In a December poll of 1,000 U.S. adults, somewhat more than 34% think Musk has had a positive impact on the platform, while slightly more, 29%, say it has had a negative impact. Fewer are undecided. Now, this is a mixed view. Certain opinions on Musk have shifted, such as the degree of power Americans feel he has in the tech business. In April, 52% of individuals felt Musk was a highly visible person in the technological business. Now, only 37% agree. Views of Musk's individual traits have also changed throughout this time. When asked to choose a description from a list, more people now categorize him as aggressive, right-wing, amusing, and a repressor than they did back in April. Few people see him as an inventor, innovator, or visionary. The survey also questioned some of the recent discussions around Twitter's revenue and content moderation rules. Musk said that shortly after acquiring the platform, the firm witnessed a large loss in revenue as a result of activist organizations lobbying advertisers not to advertise on the site. When asked how frequently marketers are influenced by specific variables when determining where to advertise, 27% believe companies are frequently influenced by consumer or activist group pressure. This is smaller than the proportion of individuals who believe advertisers are generally motivated by a desire to protect their brand from connection with difficult topics or want to reach people who will buy their products. So does this mean that companies will stop giving ads on Twitter? What do you say? In some ways, Americans are divided on content moderation. 31% believe social media platforms are not rigorous enough in controlling material, while 27% believe they are about right, and 21% believe they are too stringent. However, the majority of people feel that social media firms have a responsibility to keep users from harassing one another and publishing hate speech or racist content on their platforms. 59% believe corporations have a duty to keep people from promoting conspiracy theories or false facts. Musk has engaged journalists to help him expose what he calls the Twitter files, which is basically a collection of internal business documents that he claims demonstrate attempts to censor content and shadow ban users who have specific political ideas. The previous censoring of postings include evidence acquired from a laptop belonging to Hunter Biden. President Joe Biden's son is at the heart of this debate. Twitter justified its decision to restrict postings related to this article as a result from a business policy banning the sharing of private information obtained through hacking. 80% of Americans favor platforms deleting data obtained in this manner. However, it is still unclear where the content on the laptop originated from. Any guesses? According to the Twitter files, officials on Biden's campaign requested that some tweets regarding Hunter Biden be removed, including one in which he appeared naked. 83% of Americans feel that nude images uploaded of people without their authorization should be removed from social networking sites. Majority of Americans are also in favor of banning posts for other reasons, such as inciting violence or publishing offensive symbols like a swastika. Another thing with Twitter is Musk enabling free speech on the platform. Now, this is a really heightened situation across the users. So, do you require free speech? I mean, true liberty? But remember, with this independence comes a risk of being misused. How? This is how. Many organizations have conducted surveys of people who have experienced online harassment, academics about their experience with harassment, in-depth reviews of literature detailing knowledge workers experience online harassment, and outreach to institutions that employ knowledge workers who have experienced online harassment in various research projects. Several comparable findings have been observed within various data sets. People are harassed online just because they are women or members of a minority group, such as those who are racialized, gender non-conforming, disabled, or otherwise marginalized. People's identities matter more than the topic they post about when judging the level of online harassment. But it doesn't end there. It's not only women and teens. Males who are harassed online typically encounter different sorts of harassment than women and people with disabilities. Women, for example, are more likely to be subjected to sexual harassment, such as rape threats. When people are harassed, they seek assistance from their organizations, social media platforms, and law enforcement. But they commonly believe that the assistance they receive is inadequate. When people do not receive adequate aid from their organizations, social media platforms, or law enforcement, they turn to self-defense techniques, such as social media withdrawal. Remember that, as we said before, this final part is critical since all data suggests that there is a very real risk of losing ideas in the uncensored Twitter environment that Musk claims he wants to construct for the purpose of free speech. In other words, Musk's proposal would most likely make Twitter speech less free than it is now because people who can't rely on social media platforms to protect themselves from online harassment would tend to leave the platform when the consequences of online harassment become psychologically or socially damaging. You may say that the strongest will rise to the top in such a marketplace of ideas. This is sometimes used to argue that social media sites like Twitter should abandon monitoring in order to stimulate constructive debate. This means that bad ideas should be dealt with by an invisible hand, with people only sharing and engaging with the best material on Twitter, and toxic stuff will be a small price to pay for a healthy online public sphere. The notion that good ideas will outweigh bad ideas contradict the actual lived experience of people from minority groups who comment on social media. We suggest artificially prioritizing minority opinions in order to generate genuine debate on a wide variety of public interest issues. This means that in order for a healthy marketplace of ideas to function, online harassment must be monitored. If you believe Musk was doing all this for profit, think again. Musk is a very wealthy man. As a result, he would clearly indicate that he is not interested in acquiring Twitter in order to create revenue. He considers Twitter to be the de facto town square and wishes for the social media company's algorithm to be open source. He attempted to portray the entire takeover attempt as a fight to protect free expression. Even Musk, a strong defender of free speech, must satisfy his shareholders that his takeover is financially beneficial to them. Otherwise, what are we doing here? When looking at all these Twitter-related comments, he is on the more favorable side. Most really successful entrepreneurs are insane, extremely optimistic risk-takers, and crazy self-believers. Among all the millionaire entrepreneurs, Musk distinguishes himself for his optimism, risk tolerance, and self-belief. That, in our opinion, is his defining characteristic. He's no brighter or more hardworking than the rest of them, but he has that additional kick. The fact that he ran out of personal funds while trying to colonize Mars and beat BMW, Toyota, Mercedes-Benz, and VW to electric cars from a small firm that had previously only produced a poor electric roadster tells it all. Anyway, how America perceives Musk is dependent on all of these. Now, what are your views on this? Do drop your views in the comments section below. We hope you had a good time watching this video.